Okay, so coming up is Junior High Big House. And what Junior High Big House is it's like a missions. What you do is you like go out, mow yards, paint houses. It's really fun, I did it. And the cost as of April 1st is through the 15th is $125. And April 16th through May 1st is $140. And May 2nd, the 2 weeks prior to camp, is $150. It's really fun, you should go. And next we have UM Army. Senior High UM Army is for senior high, and what they do is a little bit more high skilled, working with power tools. They'll build wheelchair ramps, mow yards, same kind of stuff, just a little bit harder. And you have to go online to register. And the deadline is April 15th, and the cost is $175. Next up is Lakeview. It's for junior high and senior high Lakeview District Camp. You gotta also register online. The early bird special, which is April 18th, postmarked is $275. The regular of May 2nd is $300. And final, which is May 16th, my birthday, is $315. Okay, now we have the garage sale. Coming up, we have the fundraiser, which is the garage sale. And we're gonna be cooking, selling stuff, obviously, and just having a good time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass around a sign-up list. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your name and what hours you're going to be there. That way we can know when to expect you and when you're going to be done. And I believe that's it.
We're gonna stand it up. We're gonna get turned from church.
Oh, dang it. First Sunday, no rush, boys. Figure it out. That's not it.
Hello, check, check. Alright, they're making me use one of these. I don't know, but whatever. Alright guys, so in Big Church, we're doing something right now called the Roger Challenge. Roger being the associate pastor, he stands up there with Steve. Looks like Steve, just little baby Steve.
Oh, don't look like you said that.
Don't tell him I said that.
Me
Yeah,
what?
don't tell him I said that. But, so anyways, the Roger Challenge, Roger makes these little pieces of paper, and each person in the congregation takes 2 of them. And they hand these out to their friends or family or whoever, and they bring them to church. It's our way of bringing people to church. So, we made youth group, little relevant youth Roger papers. And each one of you guys are going to get 2 of these to pass to your friends. But there's a catch. If you can bring 2 people who have those papers, there's a $5 gift card to somewhere. I don't know where Alan said.
Sonic.
To Sonic. A $5 gift card to Sonic. So there's a prize. So y'all are going to go home with 2 of those to hand out to your friends and bring them back with those papers. Do what?
No, first, so if you bring both of these, you're the one who gets the gift card. No. No.
No. They have to be people who do not come regularly.
Yes, exactly.
You cannot hand one to your friend and just y'all get a bunch of gift cards. That's not how it works. You have to go out and talk to people. Nice try, Michael. Nice try. Good. Have they been here before?
That was
All right, Gary. Go ahead and dim the lights and start this video.
To secure the promised land,
Ignore the stuff.
the Israelites must defeat those idols. King Saul has lost God's blessing. And now he faces the Philistines' greatest champion, Goliath.
Will one of you fight me? Israelites, you win! And the Philistines will be your slave. I win. And you will be our slave.
Someone must fight him! Not you, Jonathan. The warrior who defeats him will be a rich man!
Not one man in Israel. Not one of God's people.
I'll do it. You're no soldier, you're a shepherd. Yes, a shepherd. So I protect my sheep, God will protect me.
Where is your faith? Where is your God?
I will kill him.
I know. Motivation to come back. Oh. Next week. Yeah. I know I hate it, but that's why I did it. It was fun, right?
It's not fun anymore.
1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 33 through 36. Saul answered, You can't go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a boy. Goliath has been a warrior since he was a young man. But David said to Saul, I, your servant, have been keeping my father's sheep. When a lion or bear came and took a sheep from the flock, I would chase it. I would attack it and save the sheep from its mouth. When it attacked me, I caught it by its fur, hit it, and killed it. I, your servant, have killed both a lion and a bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like them, because he has spoken against the armies of the living God. So, David, you saw in the video, was young. He was younger than me. They say that he was possibly 12 to 15 years old. Yeah. So he was the youngest of all his brothers. I think he had 7 brothers, and all of his older brothers were in Saul's army. That's why David was there in the first place. His father Jesse sent him to check on his brothers, and when David got there, he heard this giant threatening the Israelite army. But David was not old enough to actually be a soldier in the battle. So Goliath, as you saw in the video, behind the makeup and all that, there was actually a pretty big guy. He was kind of scary. Goliath was a giant who had been tormenting the Israelite army for 40 days. So he had been coming out every single day for 40 days, threatening them and wagering the entire battle on his life or another man's. And remember that he's threatening an entire army of guys who have been trained how to fight were threatened, but not one of them had the courage to stand up and fight him. Goliath stood nearly 10 feet tall. He had been taught since he was a young man how to fight. He grew up in the army. He was probably a pretty big kid and was taught how to fight when he was real little. He was so good that he challenged the Israelites to a one-on-one duel. He bet this entire battle on one person from the other army. That's a big deal. David was sent by his father Jesse to take food to his brothers and check that they were okay. When David arrived, he heard Goliath's threats and challenges. At this, David was confused. Who is this Philistine who dares to challenge the army of the Lord? So David, who's just a boy with no experience in fighting except for fighting wild animals that try to attack his flock of sheep, had the guts to say, why is this guy challenging the army of the Lord? When those soldiers who obviously had the Lord on their side, they were an army of the living God, did not have the guts to stand up and fight him. This is one of the many examples of how God chooses the least of us to represent him. David had not been trained like the Israelite soldiers, yet Goliath was raised a warrior. Not just any warrior, he was a giant. Don't forget, he was like 10 feet tall. That's like 4 feet above me. That's really tall. But David had one thing that Goliath didn't have. David had the Lord on his side. And as you'll find out, no one can ever stand in the way of the Lord God Almighty. David was not frightened by Goliath's loud roars or large swords. David had faith. So, you might be asking, how does this apply to me? I don't think there's any giants who are going to come and try and fight you. But we have obstacles in our lives. We have things that pop up out of nowhere that can be like giants to us. It seems impossible to overcome. It might be a class, it could be a coach who's pushing you to your limits. It could be something more personal. It could be mom and dad issues. Or maybe you're in an unhealthy relationship that you know you shouldn't be in, but you just can't seem to get out of it. You might have a bad habit, an addiction that you know you shouldn't have, but you can't seem to get away from it. These things, for some reason, seem to cause us to have doubt that we come to church and we might hear all these about this awesome God who does all these great things. And then we realize that it seems like God's not doing anything for me. I know I've said that myself. I've said, God's up there, but He's not helping me right now. We begin to skip church. We have more important things to do. We have more things that we need to take care of, other things besides coming to church. We try and take these problems on our own. We try and handle them on our own, and we fail and we fail and we fail again, and we can't seem to get out of it. So we begin to skip church. Before too long, our problems seem to take over our entire lives. We can't go a minute without thinking about this test that I have coming up, my boyfriend or girlfriend, I care about them, but they're doing this to me and I don't like it. We're like the Israelite soldiers. Not David, but the soldiers who sat there and listened to this big guy threaten them for 40 days. Even though they had God on their side, they were not brave enough to fight Goliath. None of them had the guts to take up Goliath one-on-one. But if we have faith, if we can manage to strengthen out just a little bit of faith, just to put everything in God's hands and trust in Him, God will take care of us. God will carry us through the storm, and He will not forsake us. Y'all didn't get to see it, but next week you'll get to see a little bit more of the story, and then a little bit more. And you'll see that the entire time, David wasn't scared. David never doubted that he wasn't going to be able to handle this. David put everything in God's hands and trusted God to guide him. Give your burdens to God, and He will carry you through the storm, whatever it is. Come back next week to see what David does. Yeah. Great. Nope, there's 3. Maybe. After. All right, would you bow your heads? Heavenly Father, thank You for bringing us all here today. Thank You for giving us the courage and the power to be Your vessels. Please, when we see these obstacles in our lives, be there to guide us through them. We know You will. When we go to school tomorrow and we see this obstacle and we're face to face, give us the strength to just know You are there and know that everything is in Your hands. We've got this because of You. Amen.